She threw my stuff out because I was 15 minutes late. That's when I knew I deserved better. My girlfriend told me I'm a terrible person for not being able to predict traffic to be able to feed her sooner and threw my stuff out in anger. Now I'm predicting a better life without her. So this feels crazy to me even asking this, but I just need some kind of confirmation or perspective I'm not seeing. 30 meters, live with my girlfriend, 29F. Every Friday is pizza night. We either order some Domino's or I pick up Papa Murphy's. She loves pizza night because during the week, we are pretty strict with our diet and exercise. So Friday nights are pop/pizza/movie. And it's a treat. I get off work at 5. She gets off at 6. So if I'm picking up the pizza, then I get it on the way home. Yesterday, it was my duty to pick up the pizza. I stayed after work for another 40 minutes talking to my brother about business ideas because we own our business, and it's really helpful to brainstorm after we close. I work 25 minutes from the house. She works 20 minutes from the house. I ordered the pizza from Papa Murphy's. You have to bake it yourself at home for 15 minutes at 5 and plan to leave work at 5:40 with the intent of getting the pizza and being home in time to throw it in the oven and have it be done within 5 to 10 minutes after she walked in the door. Well, I get the pizza, and there's a traffic accident on the freeway. It delays me 15 minutes. When I get home, which is about 2 minutes after she did, she is all, "I'm really disappointed that you didn't get the pizza here faster. You know how important it is," etc. I explained to her that there was a traffic accident and that I planned to be here in time to have it done. She then goes on a rant saying I should have left right at 5 so that I would for sure get the pizza here in time and have it ready for her when she got home. Keep in mind, I've brought this pizza back basically every week for the past month, and I either have it totally ready or at least in the oven by the time she gets home. Somehow, though, the times when it was just in the oven were me being late then too, and she brought that up as more evidence that I'm terrible. Anyway, I go into the bedroom to be alone so that I don't have to hear her ranting. She won't drop it though and comes in there after 5 minutes to continue bitching about her pizza and how I shouldn't be upset because she's the one that was disappointed. I tell her fine, I'm leaving for a while because I don't want to sit here and hear this after I just sat in traffic for 40 minutes getting this thing for her. She then flips out and tells me I shouldn't come back if I'm leaving, chases me out the door, and screams for me to pack my things and take them with me before I go, etc. I ignore this and tell her she is acting like a child and that it's like watching a 2-year-old have a tantrum. I come back 3 hours later, and she has a suitcase and a bag of clothes thrown out in the driveway. No texts or calls, just that. I slept at my office, and now I'm not really sure what to do here. Am I missing something here where I wasn't being sensitive? Do I just wait for an apology, and then if it isn't forthcoming, I should walk? It seems like insanity to me, but maybe I'm missing something. Top/relevant comments. Commenter, this seems like an extreme overreaction on her part. I don't mean to be a jerk for asking this, but is there any part of the story you may have left out? Or is this a typical reaction from her when things don't go exactly as she wants them to? Because if so, that's not cool at all. Ops response, this is literally the entire story. Sometimes it's like talking to a different person. One person is kind and loving, but then she can flip this switch where she is unable to be reasoned with and goes absolutely bat-crap crazy. It happens when she is frustrated too. An example, also with pizza, a few months ago, I was dropping my car off to get a stereo installed. I needed her to pick me up there after she was done with work on Friday because I had to leave it there for a few hours. Well, she couldn't find the place and got a little lost, so she called me. She couldn't use her GPS because she had used up all her data on a prepaid plan. I tried to help her with my Google Maps and figured out where she was really quickly, like 2 minutes from the place. I told her to go north and take the first right she could. Well, she didn't know compass directions where she was, so this frustrated her and she started screaming into the phone about how this was pizza night and how maybe I could just call her once the car was ready and she'd pick me up then. I told her that would be several hours and that it didn't make any sense. I needed food, etc. So she says, fine, I'll try to find you. 30 seconds later, she finds me. She later apologized for her behavior, but it was still shocking at the time. Now I guess I'm starting to realize this is normal for her whenever she is at all stressed. Up responding to a comment asking about his girlfriend's past and behavior. You are pretty insightful. She has abandonment issues because her dad left, and her mom was legitimately insane, regularly beat her, was addicted to drugs, went to prison for a few years, and she had to be raised by her grandma, and she ended up emancipating herself at 16. Yes, minor changes in routine very much upset her. No reason to distrust me. I've never cheated. She has. Up responding to a comment suggesting his girlfriend has BPD. Wow. I just read the Wikipedia entry on this disorder. It almost perfectly describes so many things she does. Commenter 2, borderline personality disorder is not very resistant to treatment. Dialectical behavior therapy works wonders. Once a patient can recognize their own emotions, they can learn to cope with them properly. The disorder becomes manageable from there. The patient is going to have to be in a place where they're ready to get help and challenge their own beliefs, but that's the same with any mental illness ever. The op's girlfriend doesn't sound like she's there, but that doesn't mean she'll never be there, nor should she be told she never will be. You seem to understand the disorder. You understand why telling someone with borderline personality disorder that they're untreatable is detrimental, right? We should be telling them that they aren't broken and hopeless. That said, her childhood plus what you wrote in the comments also struck me as borderline. She believes she is horrible, that she doesn't deserve love, that everyone abandons her. She doesn't know how to feel good about herself because she was never taught how. It's absolutely not your responsibility to teach her that or even to help her through any of this. You're not married. It's only been 2 years. She will need to learn one way or another that she is hurting herself and everyone around her with her behavior. She will need to decide she needs help. Just try to keep in mind that she's suffering too, if/when you leave her. Don't be too cruel. Op's response. She believes she is horrible, that she doesn't deserve love, that everyone abandons her. She has used exactly those words to describe how she feels about herself. She feels an emptiness inside that she thought was because of our relationship and me not making her feel loved enough. So she cheated, but it didn't help her. After the cheating, I tried to get her to see a counselor, but she refused in a passive-aggressive way, promising to go but never making the appointment and becoming angry when I pressed her on it after a month of nothing. I guess I just need to let her go and hope that she gets treatment for herself at some point, but her opinion of counselors is that they are useless and never help. Op adds an edit to their post. So I finally texted her this afternoon, and she said she was pissed because I ignored her/was acting cold after she beached at me when I went into the bedroom to defuse the situation. I was there for under 5 minutes before she came in to continue fighting about it. When I left, she said, "I told you that if you left, you could never come back. You still left." Now she says it's up to me if I want to still be together. I told her that me being required to be in her presence while she rants at me is abuse. I can leave if I want to. In fact, the week prior, she specifically told me I should leave for a little while when she starts acting crazy because she ends up saying things she doesn't mean. So I literally followed her advice this time, and now she says I'm basically required to stay at her side while she rages at me. Ugh. I feel like it's time to move on because I know she won't get help for this, and I know it's just going to keep happening. It's just so hard because I do still love her, and if she would just be willing to get help, I would have hoped. Update, 2 days later. After some more texting, she admitted that she owed me an apology and asked me to come back and talk. As soon as I walked in, she had a sheepish look, apologized, and said she knows something is wrong with her but isn't sure what it is, and really doesn't want to have to take medication. That's when I brought up the fact that we both already knew her sister has a very severe case of borderline personality disorder. Her sister is very intelligent, yet often homeless, has been married 5+ times at 35 years old, thinks no one loves her, and believes everyone persecutes her for her political views, etc. I never thought my girlfriend had this disorder though, because her sister was so severe in comparison that I never really stopped and paid attention to a lot of the things she does that still hit a lot of the major criteria: major fears of abandonment from childhood, stormy relationships with men, few friends, viewing me as perfect when she's happy and terrible when she's upset, extreme sensitivity to criticism, past issues with bulimia, crazy/paranoid, i.e., unfounded, no evidence, thoughts about what I think of her when she is upset, and a cycle of shame/guilt about the things she does to avoid emotional pain and dealing with the consequences of her actions. Anyway, she was curious enough about it to go and look this up on the computer, take a basic psych test to see if it's possible. She scored in the likely range, even with some answers that I thought were denying reality. I kept quiet while she took it, though, which would have scored her higher. After that, she looked into what treatment was available. I know she absolutely does not like the idea of counseling, so I suggested books, and she agreed to at least start with that. So I feel like this is a positive step forward where I was feeling hopeless before. She realizes she has a problem, and now I'm just anxious about whether she will take the book seriously and really work on understanding why she acts this way sometimes. 95% of the time I'm with her is wonderful and she is amazing, but this 5%, when she cannot handle stress or minor issues and they turn into huge blow-ups, is very difficult. One of her suggestions on what would make her feel better when she does this is if I pretended to be concerned even if it is a trivial issue. She said it doesn't even matter if I have to grit my teeth and lie to her. It will make her feel better than when I walk away. I don't think she realized it when she said it, but we do the same thing to her sister when her sister is saying crazy stuff too. Overall, I'm much more hopeful now, but at the same time, realistic that she has thus far not really done anything to help herself. Reading books could help, but not in the same way a counselor could, I think. I'm hoping that if she reads these books and realizes a lot of it rings true for her, maybe she will be more open to counseling. Quick edit. I know a lot of you said it wasn't about the pizza. In a way, you were right. In a way, not. She was much more upset by the fact that I wanted to go in my room rather than stay and listen to her ranting about that. Someone with BPD is apparently much more short-fused when you are not giving them attention when they need it, so a minor issue about pizza turns into craze you don't love me, you don't care about me ramblings. It really was as simple as the pizza being late, and my avoidance reaction set off her insanity. Top/relevant comments. Commenter, you two shouldn't pursue treatment from books based on a personality disorder that you've armchair diagnosed. This book path won't actually help. She needs to work with a pro, and you need to make it an ultimatum. You can't stay with her as she is untreated. If you do, expect more of the same. And remember, if you do care about her happiness, you must know that the book path won't get her there. She needs the help of professionals, and you would be wrong to accept anything less. Second update, 1 month, 2 weeks later. Well, I just couldn't make it work with her anymore. I didn't want to talk about it in the original post, but she had cheated on me multiple times already, and I caught her doing more stuff. She told me she was just seeing her ex once in a while as a friend, but I caught texts she had sent him where he was mad that she wasn't getting sexual with him enough and that she only saw him once every couple of weeks. So she must be seeing another guy and accusing her of lying about whether she is single or not. She replied to him saying she is single and wasn't looking for other guys, etc., but that she found out he was on a dating site and looking for other girls, so she was mad about that. That, combined with other things that have just always been problems, has led me to the realization that I will never be able to do enough for her to be happy, and that there is no version of reality where I can trust her enough to get married and have kids, or where I can go on a weekend trip and not worry that she's out with another guy while I'm gone. I told her last night that we need some time apart, and she predictably flew into a rage and told me to get the F out and said if I didn't take all of my stuff, she would throw it away. I told her if she wanted to be a baby about it and do that, she could, but I wasn't going to pack up the entire house full of my stuff while she is raging at me, so I took my necessities and left. She apologized today and said she wouldn't throw out my stuff, but I'm currently in a motel and looking for an apartment tomorrow. I think my mental state has been warped pretty badly by this relationship, and I'm looking forward to resetting. I haven't pursued my hobbies or tried to make friends in a long time because every spare moment was spent with her and trying to make sure she didn't feel like I wasn't giving her enough attention. I would get anxious if I was running late coming home from work because I was worried she would be really upset. Most of all, I just felt like I was dealing with someone who doesn't think about things like I do and doesn't have the sense of morality that I do. I'll never really know if it was BPD because she refused to go to counseling, and nothing I could do or say would make her go. I hope someday she is happy, but I fear she is in for a lot of short-term relationships where guys are initially thrilled to be with her. But then, when they aren't perfect in some way, that's when the ship will hit the rocks again, and there's no recovery from it because she takes no responsibility for repairing the damage she causes and only builds up resentment that she isn't treated like a princess regardless of how she treats you. Top/relevant comments. Commenter, I'm sad you put up with her abuse for so long. In the end, it doesn't matter if she has BPD. She treats you horribly, and it's intolerable. She won't try to fix it. If I were you, I'd sneak your things out and leave her without fully informing her up front because she'll probably destroy your property. She's out of control. Good luck in the future, and I'm glad you escaped her. Op's response, it sounds worse than it is when I only talk about the bad. She was very loving and kind 95% of the time, but the 5% was pretty bad, and the things she did behind my back make me question what percent of the time she was faking it. Some of the affection had to be faked, or else there is a disconnect in her mind between her time with me and her time alone and or with other guys. Commenter, I don't think so. Her bad side was pretty horrible. Pretending to be single, cheating on you, etc. I can understand having heated arguments, but the constant cheating combined with her outbursts, and I'm aware of what BPD is. When you are in their glow, you can do no wrong, and you're the most amazing person on the planet. When you're on their bad side, it's awful. You need to have higher standards for yourself. I'm pretty sure she put you through some abuse, and I'm not just talking about the pizza incident. I could even see working through the BPD, but the deception, what did you two actually share? You'll never know because she's a liar. Op's response, you are absolutely right. What I meant is that it felt good for the majority of the time when she wasn't acting crazy. The things she was doing behind my back, though, yes, really awful, and that was going on nearly the entire relationship. So the full extent of the terribleness was shielded from me while I basked in her glow, as you put it. It's funny that you said she would say I'm the most amazing person on the planet 1 second, then the biggest scumbag who ever lived when I'm on her bad side. Definitely true. I will also never really know how much we shared because when I look back on some of the great times we had together, I can't really know whether she was having a great time with me or counting down the minutes until we got home so that she could make plans with her other boyfriend. I can even remember one weekend we spent in her hometown doing a lot of fun things. I later found out she was texting her ex about how badly she wanted to see him the entire time we were together. Every time after that, when she mentioned how great that trip was, it felt like a layer of slime coated the whole memory. Op adds an edit to their post. I am reading all of your replies, so even if I don't respond, I really do appreciate the kind words and constructive opinions. I'm actually having a bit of a laugh right now because the more I read and write about the crap that went on, I realize what a huge drain on my mental energy this has been. I own a business, and part of what makes or breaks an entrepreneur is coming up with good ideas that help the business grow. My mind has been in a fog for so long that I haven't put as much energy into that as I should have. But luckily for me, and maybe this is a sign if there is a higher power, my salary basically went from $50K to $2.50K in the past couple of weeks because of a good idea that worked well. So I've got that to help cheer me up.